Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Gautam's Cooking Adventures. In this episode, we'll take you through the steps to make Ghugni, which is a Bengali Aloo Mutter curry, and I will talk you through the steps. Now, Ghugni is a snack native to the Indian subcontinent, usually in the northeast part of India, and also popular in Bangladesh. Usually made with black gram, dried yellow peas or dried white peas, and also includes aloo or potato. As always, you will find a copy of the ingredients list in the description below this video. Please like this channel, subscribe to it, and click on the bell icon to be notified all future episodes. Thank you. Prior to cooking, I've taken 1 cup of dried yellow peas, and what I've done is soak this overnight, and as you can see, the peas have actually swollen and they've now been ready. If you press hard into it, they should snap, but they'll still be hard. Now, to cook the ghugni, we need to first get the peas ready, and in order to do that, what I'm taking is the peas that we've soaked overnight, and we're now going to put this in a large pan, put the stove on high heat and start getting it ready. So first we will add about half a teaspoon of turmeric into this. And now to this mix we're going to add some salt, between half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt. Remember that we're going to remove the peas from the water later, so it's okay if we add a little extra salt at this point of time, but we can always just put less salt and make the adjustment later. We're cooking this for 18 to 20 minutes with a closed lid on it, and after the 18 to 20 minutes is done, you'll see it's come to a nice boil. We're going to have to check to see how well the peas have been cooked. The way to check that is to take some of the peas out of there and just simply pick one and press it hard between your 2 fingers, and see how easily it burst. It also smashed quite easily, the inside pea smashed, and I'll show that once again. As you can see, it's nicely smashed. It's just right now for us to take this off the stove at this point of time. It's cooked to the point where we need it. We will cook this further later, but this is more than enough. Now we're going to have to cook the ghugni, but before we do that, we're going to need a little bit of tomato paste that needs to be done. It's made with 1 tomato, some ginger and green chili. We're just putting that into a mixer bowl, and into that we'll add just a little bit of water. We don't need too much, but it doesn't matter if you add a little extra too, but we wanted to keep it to the minimum. Grind it to a nice paste, and now we can start cooking the ghugni itself. Now the next step is to start cooking the aloo, and in order to do that, let's take a large pan and in this add some mustard oil. It's approximately 1/8 of a cup of mustard oil. This dish does take a large amount of oil, so it could be anywhere from 1/8 cup to up to a quarter cup, depending on the amount of potato you have. Once the oil is nice and hot, add some bay leaf to this, in this case 1 large bay leaf. Now to this we're also going to add the previously chopped garlic pod. In this case I've taken a really large garlic pod. You can go even as much as 2 or 3 garlic pods if you want. That's up to your choice. In this case, if we're just taking 1 large nicely sliced garlic pod, we're now going to add a tablespoon of jeera seeds to it. Now we let this fry in the oil for about 30 seconds. Allow the jeera to fry and allow its aroma to be set off. Once you get that nice smell, you'll see the jeera has turned a little brown. We're now ready at this point of time then to add the next component, which is the aloo. Now the aloo will be cooked. Now this is previously diced aloo, as I've told you before. We're going to have to cook this for a bit, for about a minute or so, just to let the aloo cook partly, at the same time take in the flavors of the spices that we've added to the oil earlier to this. It also takes this, the flavor of the oil, which is the mustard oil, into it. Notice that the aloo is not easy to cut into at this point of time, and the reason I'm showing this to you is because this is what we will use as a marker to figure out when the aloo is ready. We will cook this for just a couple of seconds and then add to this 1 dried red chili. You could even go as much as 2 if you feel like, but 1 should be sufficient for what we're trying to do here. All we want is just the flavor of the chili to come into the oil to give it that little extra pungent taste. We need to close this now at this point of time. Let it cook in a closed with a closed lid, so it keeps the moisture within itself while it cooks and allows the aloo to cook faster. Open the lid after a minute of cooking. By now the chili has let out its flavor. Now we're going to add just a little bit of salt, and what the salt does is it will also add to the flavor of the aloo, but also helps to cook it faster. Now at this point of time we're just going to leave this on an open flame, let it cook till the potato is cooked to the point that we want it to be, and for that we're going to test it. About a minute later you'll find that it's cooked. It's easier to now break a potato bit as compared to before, and this is just right. We don't want the potato to be fully cooked, we want it to be half cooked, and at this point of time is when it's ready for it to cook with the peas that we have previously cooked. Now we've taken the peas out from the water, and we're now going to add and allow it to cook together. We're allowing the oil to allow the flavors to mix into the peas as well, and now we're adding the previously made paste that we had gotten ready for this time. Let this cook on a medium flame. Now we're going to add salt to this as we need to taste. Remember the golden rule, always add in small quantums. You can always add later to make up for any shortfall. Now to this we're going to add Kashmiri red chili, 1 teaspoon. This does not give you very much of spice, but actually gives you the red color. The chili powder, anywhere from half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon. We like it spicy in my house, so I'm going to use a whole teaspoon, but you might want to add just half a teaspoon, up to you. Dhania powder, 1 tablespoon would be what we want over here, 1 to 2 tablespoons. Dhania adds a lot of flavor into this, so adding a little more of dhania is not a bad idea. It also helps thicken the curry. About half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Remember, we're adding turmeric powder time and again at various times, so we're going to add half a teaspoon at this point of time. You could add more if you like it. Now jeera powder, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of jeera powder to this mix. Give it a nice mix, let them all blend in well. We're still cooking this at a medium, slightly higher than a medium flame. The point is now we want to do it to cook slowly and allow the peas to cook even more while the aloo is also cooking. We will now add to this about half a teaspoon of garam masala. Not too much, just enough to give it just the necessary flavor that it requires. And then give this a nice mix, blend it well into the curry, and when it's nicely done, we want to cook this for a little while with a closed lid. It's been a little over 5 to 6 minutes since we started the cooking with the lid on, and we're going to check on it. Now you'll notice that the oil is starting to separate. It's forming a coating on the top, it's separated, and it's also forming a coating on the side. It's just right at this point of time. So now what we're going to do is, it's a very thick mixture. We're going to water it down, and I'm using the water from the previously cooked peas. Remember, that has got salt and turmeric in it, and therefore this is why you want to be careful as to how much salt you're going to be adding as you go through this process. Always erring on the side of lower salt is better, because as we keep adding these components, the salt content is increasing. Ideally at this point of time you want to check the aloo and the peas to make sure that they are cooked well. They could cook a little longer, so at this point in time I'm going to allow it to cook for another 5 minutes more, and then check on it once more after that. Now I did test for salt, and I thought I needed a little more salt, so you notice I added some salt to it. So we'll continue cooking. It's been 5 minutes. I will continue to keep cooking this on a medium flame for another 20 to 25 minutes. What I want is for the aloo to be completely cooked, as well as the peas to be nice and soft. Now at the end of the 25 minutes I'm going to add amchur. Ideally you want to add about 2 tablespoons of amchur to this mix. I'm just going to take it in small quantities and add them, but 2 tablespoons should be a good amount for this amount of peas and aloo. And let this cook for another 10 minutes for it to thicken. Now we're going to go back and check how the curry is. It needs to be nice and thick, but sticking to the spoon, but yet flowing freely. As you can see here, this is the kind of thickness we are looking for. This is just ideal. At this point of time we're ready to take this off and dish it. We've gone ahead and garnished this with just a little bit of coriander, and now put it into a dish. It's ready to be eaten now. We hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Look forward to any suggestions or comments from you, and please do keep supporting us. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click the like button, and do press the bell icon so that you can be notified of all our future episodes. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.